Alright, so last night, or at this point, probably a few days ago, I posted this to Reddit and got a lot of positive feedback. And I got a lot of questions too on how I actually did it, so I thought I'd show you real quick in a quick tutorial video thing. Why not? And basically, now we just start with like yellow and white. These are all the paints I'm using behind me. And all we're doing is here, I can actually show you before we get too deep into this on this piece. Basically, we're going to have your brightest points right here, and all that's going to be is this color. It's going to fade up through this line. It's going to come out with a little bit of orange, which is going to be somewhere around here. Your reds are going to be kind of this, just Vallejo bloody red. The only color I don't have here, let me grab it real quick. It's this one, smoke. On the palette, it's this color right here. It's kind of, it's a really, really runny brown. But I mean, you can kind of forego that and just use flat earth mixed with black, like is what I would do if I didn't have that. And yeah, you just kind of glaze outwards with each one, each color successively. You don't really want to focus on nice smooth glazes, rather you just kind of want to stipple and dab. But just so I don't waste this here brush, the idea is that we just start in the center. At this point, I can be really sloppy. And I'm not even going to clean my brush here in between. We're just going to grab the next color and just start kind of blending, stippling it on. Right now, I guess we could consider it a wet blend because I don't really care. You know what I mean? If it's dry, it's dry. If it's wet, it's wet. Now at this point, we're straight into orange fire. That's right here. Now, at this point, I'm going to rinse my brush off just because I don't want the yellow. At this point, I still got kind of this color in my brush, so I want to make sure I'm sticking, or I'm getting just red. We're still kind of just wet blending in here. We are nowhere near done. This is still all just the undercoat. Now I can kind of come in, now that I've established a base color, and it's a little bit different than the other one. Like if you notice there's some red sticking out here, this one kind of got a little bit aggressive, but we're going to tone all of that back as we go. First things first, let me dry this. Alright, that's what we're looking like at this point. Now at this point is where we start the glazing, so we want to get a little bit of water off of our palette. Make sure we're nice and runny. Check it on your nail. Now we just kind of stipple and glaze. You're going to go a little bit too far with the yellow, but that's fine. Also watch the backside, because I already made one oopsie, and I got to fix that later. Now, I'm not quite happy with how this is turning out, but I kind of want to work on the tip for a second. So that's where I come into a little bit of red with a little bit of the smoke color. Thin like a glaze. That's a little much on there. Just kind of glazing some in here and there. Now that I have red and yellow, now I kind of want to reintroduce orange back between those. And you see kind of same thing, just stipple a tiny bit of orange onto the yellow to give it some texture. We're going to go way back and forth several times here. It's going to take probably a couple hours. Maybe. Last night it took me about an hour. Okay, now we're going to come in with some of the straight brown. I'm going back and forth between light and dark just to let stuff dry. And I just want to darken this tip up, but I don't want it to be a wash. Okay, it's starting to kind of get the feel of what I'm going for here. Except I want more orange. It's darkening up enough. We're going to grab some black and add it to the corner of this, the smoke color. And then we're going to go ahead and give that nice fade. That's going to be where this gets it. And then we want a very abrupt transition, so let's go ahead and just add a line of this down here. Now this is the color everybody commented about the magic. Watch what we're gonna do here. I'm just barely stippling, same as I would do an eyeball. Do a few little scratches if you want, but it's just too much if you go too much. You want to make sure you get a few of them on the side right here. Okay, now that that's done, we're going to come in here with the red. This, the red and smoke mix. A little bit runnier, same thing. We want to do little tiny dots, but this time we want to put them and less is more. I have no idea how much of this has actually been in focus. I hope enough. Transitions I'm not happy with, I'll come back in and just fix them a little bit. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some of this orange, a little bit of water, make an impromptu wash. And then I just kind of want to glaze everything once. Not too much. Let me go ahead and dry that. Well, upon returning from drying, it would seem that tragedy has, well, I mean, not really, because I wasn't going to paint the rest of it. But I guess it's a happy accident, because, like, now I can get to this side better. But that side's already painted, so. Alright, whatever. This seems like a job for super glue. If anybody didn't know that, water is poor man's activator. Alright, so here we are after the orange glaze. I'm going to come in here with a little more of this brown because I want this darker. And then this transition here is just terrible. So let's, I guess, come in with a little bit of red. I need something between the red and there. Let's do that. Okay, now what I'm missing here is the white. These little specks, they don't quite look right yet without the black background. Without the black line. Wow, English is hard today. We're going to just add progressively more white to this. Now, what I don't like now is it seems like there's missing orange. Really, this orangey red. So let's just grab that. Glaze that in. In fact, we're just going to kind of encroach on the last one had too much yellow in my opinion, so let's just encroach on the yellow a little bit here. Now, in preparation for the black, what I'm going to do is we're going to take some red. Way less than that. Almost a dry brush situation. And just on this line, because it's going to be black, we want to go ahead and add a little bit, so then maybe some of that will show through and kind of look like a cooler or a little bit warmer spot right connected to that black line. All right, looking pretty good. Now we're going to come in with some straight up pure white. And that's where we're at so far. Getting pretty close. Now time for the part that makes or breaks it, all the marbles. This is where, God, English is hard today. This is where dampness of the brush matters. So you just want to get your paint on there, and then you want to get most of it off. See right there, that's about perfect. So then we want to make sure it's still formed in a brush as much as it is. We want to make sure it's as formed into a brush as we can. We don't want to be fighting our tip, fighting stray bristles. You just want to come in here like this. Watch your pressure. I'm acting like I've invented edge highlighting. And like last time, I just kind of darken it with some dry it out more. It's nowhere near dry enough. Make sure you use the dry spot of the paper towel. Alright, that's looking pretty close. That's what we're trying to replicate from yesterday. And this is what we got today. The dots aren't quite as... I like the ones from yesterday better, but let's touch up that white. Alright, I mean, I can nitpick on this all day long, but that is the basic gist of how we did this. There's the one from last night. Non-metallic metal, there's plenty of tutorials on that. The gem, a lot of people commented they like the gem, so that's just this red to start with. And then we just highlighted with this, kind of just blended together. And then just a dot of pure white. And aside from that, maybe let's hit it with some ultra matte real quick. Alright guys, well I guess that's going to do it for this. That's how it turned out. Looking pretty good. I'm not too upset with it. There's the one from last night. I'm going to probably post this to YouTube as well as Reddit. So if you want to support me, go ahead and subscribe to me over on YouTube. I don't upload very often, but when I do, you'll get the first notification. Well, you will if you click the thing. You know what I mean, man. Just do it if you want to. Yeah. All right, I'm done here. Have a good night. Later, guys.